All right. Back at it again for the win. Y'all know what we doing this time. It's all fights. Straight fighting. Straight hands. 1-2, man. Come on. You gotta put your power on display in this episode. This episode, that's the one where you gotta put your power on display. You gotta show people what you really on, what you really doing, what's the move and how you moving. Exactly. Y'all feel me? Anyway, last one. My boy Sands, he hit that first place in the race because we all knew that was gonna happen. I don't know why anybody was acting like that's not what was gonna happen. We all knew Sands was gonna win. All right, we just knew that, right? And then we got to the chariot fight or whatever it's called. I don't care. It didn't matter anyway, right? I threw that in there just for the fun of the situation, I guess, right? 'Cause for the love of the game, I had to throw that in there because I'm only doing this for the love of the game. Y'all know we here for the love of the game. Anyway, first and foremost, right? Before the tournament, happens. We got Sans and Papyrus. They talking to Todoroki in the hallway. He out here explaining backstories and stuff. He's talking about he don't know what their condition of All Might is, or what they planning on doing, or if what the situation is. But the fact of the matter is that Gaster may be Gaster top 5, right? But All Might number 1, and Endeavor one would be better than All Might. He gonna get there on ice alone, straight freeze him up. He gonna freeze him up. He gonna get there on ice alone. He don't want to use his father power because of what happened, because of all the traumatics that happened in his childhood that he barely explained, which is fine, because he barely know them, but it's fine, right? We got Bakugo listening, hard listening though, right? Hard listening down the hallway. Got my boy Bakugo listening hard down the hallway. He like, dang. That's crazy. Everybody understands this is a sensitive topic. We all like, wow, not we all, but they all, right? Bakugo's not there, but Sans and Papyrus, they're like, wow, that's a bad one, right? It's a sad childhood, right? So, Papyrus, you don't really know what to say about it. You like, oh shoot. My boy's stunned right now. He gets stunned sometimes. He be in them situations. Todoroki started walking off because that's all he wanted to say about it, right? Sans, he looking at Papyrus like, that's how you feel about that, It's basically like, so that we cool with him just using that ice, or what's good, So Papyrus, obviously, because he care about a lot of people. He want to continue to care about people, right? So he like, I don't know, Sans. It just doesn't feel right for him to be limiting himself like this, all because of what happened in the past, Sans. And he was like, yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna say something like that, and Sans like, so why didn't you tell him? He's still here technically, and he ain't walked all the way back. He ain't walked to the lunchroom yet, so you could go tell him now. He was like, you know what, Sans? You're right. The great Papyrus is going to let him know how I feel about his decisions. Don't we all love Papyrus? How do we? I don't even know if I asked this in the last question, but how do we really feel about Papyrus? You know how we all love Papyrus, right? That's big homie Papyrus, the biggest of homies Papyrus. Papyrus of the anyway. So Papyrus run out. Todoroki done got kind of far, but Papyrus full sprinting at him. Big body man, big body out here full sprinting on people. Todoroki get a little bit scared. He don't know what's going on, but it's all right. It's all right though. It's okay because we got Papyrus, and he's like, I'm going to let you know that I don't fully agree, nor do I fully understand, but I believe that it is wrong for you to be limiting yourself like this, and I will be making constant effort to help you grow out of this. Todoroki, yeah, he because you don't understand. You're like, what is this nigga talking about? Sans is there somehow. He didn't see Sans walk, run, none of that, right? So Sans is like, he's like, I think what he's trying to say is that we're gonna support you. It may not be the way that you want us to support you, but we will support you. And Todoroki like, so what, you gonna let me win? Or it was like, what? No, it's obviously not. So like, why would we ever do something like that? You'll have to win on your own, but we are supporting you in your endeavors. I just realized that that's a crazy pun. That's a crazy pun. That's wild. Anyway, crazy pun. Don't it be like that? But yeah, so now that Todoroki understands they're not gonna let him win, but they are gonna, support him. He a little bit happy about that situation. He don't know what they mean fully, which is fine. But he cool with it. Supporting him and his endeavors, huh? Ain't that something? Lunchroom happens, right? And people eating some great food. Actually, it can't be that good, but it's good enough, I guess, right? Minetta out there with Dinky scheming on all the girls, trying to get them to, do what they supposed to be, not what they supposed to be doing, but do what they, do some, you feel me? Anyway, they out there scheming on them girls and stuff, right? And Momo fall for it like she normally do. I don't know why she be falling for it. I don't know how that even happens because Momo's supposed to be one of the smartest people here. How is she falling for these? You know what? But it's all right. It's all right though. We gonna let it slide. Especially to anyway. It's fine. So, Minette walk up to him, walk up to her and Jiro, because Jiro was also there, right? Talking about, he heard that the girls gotta wear, cheerleading outfits. It's just on some. That's what they gotta do. That's what he heard from Aizawa and them. That was what they was planning, right? And he the only reason why he told Momo was because he thought maybe Momo forgot or something, right? She like, what? Dang, was that? I couldn't even, I don't know what's going on with Momo. I can't tell you. She just distracted or something, right? Either way, they convinced Momo that's how that worked. Now, before any of the fighting goes on, right? Momo in the back with the other girls, right? Talking about how they gotta, wear cheerleading outfits, and she done made them and all this other stuff. Some of them excited. We got Mina over there. She excited. We got Invisible Girl. She excited. Some of them embarrassed. We got Uraraka, Jiro, Chara has refused. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not happening. She's like, but Chara, they said we gotta, like, yeah, I don't care who said that we had to do any of that. I'm not wearing that. It's like, but we as a class, we could. She was like, I'm not doing that. I don't care. Stop talking. You just stop talking. I don't care. I'm leaving. She about to leave. She had to hit the door. Frisk. It would be Frisk. If it would be anybody, it'd be Frisk. She hold on to Charles like, well, hold on. It could be fun. We ain't never, had no experience like that before. And Charles like, yeah, you may like, exploring and putting all these different clothes and outfits on, and I don't know, enjoying whatever this is. I'm not going to do that in the slightest. And she was like, I didn't want to have to do this, Char. You remember that one time? she was like, I didn't want to have to do this, Char, but you left me no choice. Char was like, what you talking about? So Frisk, she pull out her phone. She got pictures. She got pictures. Come on now, she ready for the blackmail. On her pacifist shit. Nah, I'm joking. She could have just started swinging, and whoever won would have had to do what the other one said. So she on her pacifist shit. Either way, she got pictures of Chara back when they was in middle school, trying her Garu shit. Now she didn't have the dark skin, the colorful nails, the eyeliner, whatever the fuck, right? She wasn't that Garu, or at least that not that type. But she had the cardigan on, long socks, a shorter skirt. You feel me? Mainly on the just on the the Momo Ayase, Don shit. Mama a Garu too. She's not the typical Garu, but she a Garu as well. She was on that shit. Now she did have friends that was of similar natures. Some of them it was variants of the Garu type shit, and she didn't necessarily mess with them all the time, but they had their moments. The fact that Frisk got pictures of this shit though, Chara already red in the face and shit, trying to snatch the phone. Frisk A1 with the dodge and she leaping backwards and shit. Chara trying to catch her. Other girls here that Chara had a Garu phase. Frisk starts showing them the pictures. You feel me? Chara's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? That's not how blackmail works. See how you gonna show the people that I wouldn't want to see the blackmail already before I make a decision? At first I was like, and there's always more people I could show, Chara. Don't make me show more people, Chara. You could just put this cheerleading outfit on and it could be A-okay. We don't have to see this no more. As the girls are still scrolling through these photos that Frisk was collected of Chara being Nagaru. Yeah, Chara, she feel like she came to terms with it. She like, you know what, fuck it. I don't even need that. You got it. I don't care. Right? I'm still not putting this cheerleader outfit on. How you gonna blackmail me with something that's even more blackmailable? Right? She was like, dang, I ain't get you. Guess I'm gonna have to just send it to Sans. Now obviously if Sans get, if Sans catch wind of this, I mean he already clapping her shit for being tsundere, quote unquote. If he find out she was a Garu of some kind, Chara already know it's gonna be raps for it. So she like, she hit her Frisk with that death stare like, you wouldn't dare. And Frisk had to hit her with that, try me. While she got the phone in her hands and shit. Yeah, they stare at each other for a minute. Hella tension in this locker room as Momo and the other girls are on the sideline trying to figure out what's gonna happen. Chara and Frisk staring at each other. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll put the fucking outfit on, damn. And she's like, I'm so glad that we came to an understanding, Chara. It's terrible work, It'd be your own people. It'd be your own people every time. Either way, they all put the outfit on, right? They hop outside and stuff. Chara got the meanest scowl on her face ever. You feel me? I mean, you ain't never seen somebody scowl as hard as that before. Only to find out that this is all set up by Mineta. And, my Momo out there, like, how did I keep falling for his tricks? Other people out there, Jiro too, upset. Chara? She it's like a shadow over her whole face, right? Where you can't tell, you can't see anything but the mouth, I mean. And then she starts smiling and laughing to herself. Hey, Mineta has never been filled with so much fear. He's never been filled with so much fear before. She don't understand. He don't understand, but he do understand. He don't know what's gonna happen to him, but he knows he can't be alone with her no more. That might be his actual life. And she was already getting aggressive. But that might be the death of him. Either way. To save the situation, right? Frisk and Mina, they was like, hey, Toro too, because she was also excited to be doing this. They like, man, we already out here. We might as well hit some of these steps and stuff, And even though, because they all end up, enjoying it after a while, right? Even though this was a complete trick and nobody had to do this, Even Char joined in at the you know, a little bit, you know, helping a little bit. Like, you know what? They might not be so bad, man. Terrible. Terrible. But they might not be so bad. As people, you know, for people standards, because you know she hate all people, right? People standards, they not the worst people she's met. Mineta gotta die though. Man, somebody gonna have to protect Mineta. Somebody gonna have to. I don't know. I don't even know who I'm gonna make do that yet, but somebody's for sure gonna have to protect him. He gonna probably throw Dinky under the bus too. Dinky was there. I'm after you right now. You feel me? All right. Let's continue. First things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. For real. Either way, right? So Sans, you know, he's taking the place of Izuku. So he's fighting Shinso first, which is the first match. I tried to record this at one point, and it just felt a little disorganized. So I had to draw it out for me so I can be a little bit more organized in the presentation, respectfully. All that really means is that Sans is gonna fight Shinso for sure, and Todoroki after. Is he gonna fight more than that? Find out next time on anyway. Let's hop into it. Let's just hop into it. I'll probably put a picture up after the tournament of what the paper looks like, because just so y'all can see how much I was doing, you know. That's all right. Let's get ready to rumble. Anyway, so before any of that, Sans was talking with Ojiro, right? He found out that because Ojiro obviously didn't want to continue the match at all because he didn't remember most of the tournament because Ojiro's lame. First and foremost, he's lame. Second of all, it's because Shinso's been brainwashing him the entire tournament and making him help Shinso get this far anyway, which is cool. So because Sans knows that, you know, time to prevent that a little bit, you know. But at the same time, he recognized that Shinso, what Shinso going through. You know, he kind of, you know, he was bashing on Shinso when they first met outside of Class 1A. Not really though, but kind of. And he starts thinking about ways he can help him, right? Because at the end of the day, Sans, you know, he a helpful person, right? He already done promised to help Todoroki. I mean, if Shinso's first and Shinso's also troubled, you know, what's one more person he can help along the way, right? So he comes up with a plan. He's gonna stick with it, of course. Obviously, he needed to talk to Jiro for this plan to work. You know, and that was an interesting conversation. It wasn't that much interesting. I just don't want y'all to know the plan. But, you know, he talked to Jiro. Jiro helped him out a little bit. So, round one, boy, we finally into the tournament. It's been 20 minutes. 20 minutes and we finally get into the tournament. Well, it's 20 minutes of recording. It might be less than that on the actual video. Besides the point, we in it to win it now. We in it forever, ever. Anyway, Shinso hops into the ring. Sans has to start, so he walks up there, you know, and you know they hit that, you know, ready, set, start, you know, begin the match. You know, Shinso trying to, you know, say some words to him, trying to get him to, you know, speak, add a line, add a turn, something. Sans like, Shinso, I won't go easy on you. Shinso think he got him. He tried to activate his quirk. It don't activate. Now it's Sans' game. You feel me? So, Sans summon a Gaster Blaster. He's kind of taking it serious. Not really. Just one Gaster Blaster. Shinso got to dodge. He running around as bones coming and stuff, right? Sans isn't really trying to attack him. He's just provoking more of a reaction. And he talking his noise. It's like, as Shinso running around, he's like, come on, you can have more meat on them bones, trying to hit, pushing bones up, throwing in blow attacks. And Sans says you gotta stop for those, and even if he didn't believe him, right, Sans would have missed anyway, because he's not here just trying to attack him. Even if he did get hit, it wouldn't have went through him and hurt. It would have just pushed him a little bit until he stood still for it, and it phased through him. No damage, right? It was like, Sans would be talking his noise. Like, come on, you smarter than that. I thought you was gonna win. Come on, man, you got it. Shinso obviously complaining the entire time. On some you blessed with this amazing quirk, and why isn't my quirk working? A whole lot of just complaining. And Sans was like, oh, I forgot to take these out. As he pulls out some earphones, because Sans hasn't been able to hear him this whole time, which is why the quirk didn't activate. And once he realized that, he's like, maybe I can recover from this. As he tries to say something, and a gaster blaster is in front of him. Obviously not just about to shoot him or nothing, but it's in front of him. And he gets scared. He frees up. Can't even say nothing. And before anything, Sans in front of him like, you've got a great quirk on you. You could be a hero if you really tried. It's a little bit of work here and there. If I were you, I'd talk to Aizawa. As he raised his hand, turn him blue, throw him out the ring. It was as once he hit the ring, right? Once he hit the outside of the ring and shit, it's like, dang, I lost. Being played with by somebody who knew everything about me. He mad at first until he started hearing them cheers. Start hearing the cheering going on, whole stadium, right? And it wasn't just for Sans. Sans didn't do all that for no reason. The whole reason they have the sports festival so heroes can see a little bit more of the other youth, see what's going on with them. Now, obviously, a lot of people are like, oh wow, that Sans guy, he good, he got some control on him. But Shinso, he was running around pretty good too. Shinso over here hearing his name in the mix with Sans, and Sans, he looked down at him, and he reached out his hand talking about, don't stay all blue forever. Don't stay blue forever. Come on now, I be trying a little bit. Anyway, that kind of cheered my boy Shinso up. He started smiling. He's like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to do. Sans like, hey, it's your life, man. Don't let me tell you what to do. It'll be like, some cool Sans shit. You he loves Sans too. Sans get some respect, get some love. All right. Now that we done with the first match, is the second match important? I'm trying to find out. No, it's kind of important. Shoto versus Sero. We know who won that in canon. Come on now, Sero lose, freeze out. Mainly because Endeavor was talking to him kind of crazy in the hallway. Shoto got a little bit mad, a little bit heated. Decided to respond with ice instead of fire because he don't like his dad. Like I said before, or if I said this, I don't even know. I'm not going through all these fights. Not all of them. They don't matter. Most of these characters don't matter. Nor do I care to go through any of these fights more than I have to. With that being said, let's continue the boxing, the brawling. After Shoto and Sero, we got Dinky and Ibaru. Because I'm not necessarily taking any of the fights out. If anything, I'm adding fights. Which is sad for me. But whatever. Got Dinky and Ibaru. You know who won. That green-haired girl from Class 1B versus Dinky's electricity. Dinky was not winning that fight. No matter what the situation was. Either way. After that, we got Azriel versus Dupli Arms. Man, and the reason why they end up in here, other than because I'm adding characters, is because Dupli Arms had Tokiyomi, he had Mineta, and he had Sue. Their team got enough points to be in the tournament. That's why they here. Because it's Azriel, I'll go over the fight. It won't be a long fight. So, Azriel, before the fight, right? Because it's a whole fight later. Sans sleep. Sans sleep. Some of the girls are still down there, quote unquote cheerleading, especially if they ain't got a match yet or anything, trying to calm the nerves or whatever. Chara's obviously not. She was down there for a while. She stopped as soon as the first match started. So did Frisk. She had fun. Chara didn't. And Mineta is still scared. He just knows somebody's staring at him. Murderous intent. That his whole bloodline would die if she had that option. His whole bloodline. But it's all right. It's all right. She gonna leave it alone for now. Sans sleep. Papyrus tried to wake him up for the last fight. He especially trying for this fight because it's like, come on, it's Azriel. You can watch Azriel fight, blah, blah. Kyoko would have came and be like, nice match, blah, blah. Sans forgot that he still had her headphones. Bluetooth. Come on now. Y'all know it's the Bluetooth headphone. Anyway, he would have gave it back. Be like, yeah, thanks for that. I needed it. I was really trying to, win that last match, of course. It was a hard match. He was very strong. And she was like, yeah, right. Don't worry. I know what you did. I think it's cool, because Sam's a good dude. That's why he get all the hut. No, I'm joking. He get all the huts. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Sarah was obviously thawing out. Didn't nobody care about Sarah on the actual anime. I'm not gonna talk about him that much. Azriel. He going up against, who did I just say? Dupling Arms. Dupling Arms, he like, hey, don't hold back. And that Flowey, that's his words. It was like, he look at Azriel like, in his face. He all up in Azriel's face, like, So are we going to hold back on someone who just told us not to hold? This nigga Azriel's all for the smoke and violence. Not Azriel, Flowey. Flowey's all for the smoke and violence. He don't care about none of that shit. Azriel's like, Azriel put his hand up on him. It was like, you just make sure you do what you're told. Just make sure you listen to me. And match start. Dupling Arms. He try to rush. You feel me? Flowey, go down the sleeve, get into the leg sleeve, right? Into the ground. Start manipulating plants up, Dupling Arms trying to dodge and stuff, right? Azriel put out his hand, shoot off some fire. He starts shooting off fire and stuff. Flowey starts shooting off bullets. Dupling Arms is not a ranged fighter. He keep getting pushed back. He gotta keep dodging. Up until, Azriel would have used one of Flowey's vines to push him closer to Dupling Arms. And when he swung on him, it had some weight on it because of Flowey with the vines on his hands. Dupling Arms would have blocked, but he would have been out of that ring. Easily. Talking about don't hold back. Don't hold back, man. You're not going to hold back on him. That's the end of that match, though, right? Next match, we got May and Ida. I didn't even know if I wanted to bring May and Ida fight into this. Ida was supposed to be fighting somebody else completely, but then I realized that I still needed fighters, so I had to bring May back. Don't worry about it, though. It turns out the exact same way. Ida's a walking advertisement for all of May's inventions, and then May exits as soon as she's done. Papyrus allows Sans to sleep throughout that entire fight because there was nothing going on anyway. Ida wins off May's self-disqualification. Next up is Papyrus. Now, my boy Papyrus versus Tetsu. You feel me? Because I told you I had to look for fighters. There was a point in time where I didn't even know who Papyrus was going to fight. I said, where am I? Don't worry about it. It's all fixed. Is it perfect? No. Is it fixed? Of course. So, Papyrus going up against Tetsu, right? Tetsu, activate his quirk when he get in the ring. Papyrus, walking up on that, he excited to be here to flaunt his greatness. He needs all the friends slash fans slash bathing in the shower of kisses every morning, like he said previously. Oh man. But yeah. Great guy right there, right? He hit the ring talking about, I won't be holding back on you, tattoo over here like, great. I wouldn't have it any other way. He was laughing. They start fighting, round start. Box, tattoo trying to make ground. Papyrus gonna match him. He making ground too. He don't care if you iron, steel, diamond, aluminum, titanium. Rush it down then. You want to box up. Tattoo hit him with that hook. Mean right hook to the gut. Papyrus is abnormal. He took all of it. No bruise. Swung back. He knocking the iron loose. He knocking the iron loose off this man. But Tetsu, he nice. So he tried to swing again, right? Papyrus eat it. Papyrus swing again, uppercut. Knocking him loose. Tetsu like, I ain't done. He tried to swing again. Papyrus not about to go blow for blow. He took them first two, but he was trained by Undyne back in the previous timeline, and he remembered he got his memories. You gonna have to move a little bit better than that, Tetsu, right? And that's what he let him know. Like, you gotta have some more finesse, Tetsu. As he like, super jump out the way or whatever, and like a ballerina around this motherfucker. He did the spin move dodge into a large bone, grabbed it, swung on him. That boy sent flying a little bit. He sent flying a little bit, right? After there's a little bit of distance, Papyrus hit that blue attack open, got the blue bones going, mostly blue bones. Tetsu, he stand firm, he ready to block him. They go right through him. He don't know what's going on. Papyrus like, yeah, I see you already know not to move against blue bones. As he jumped forward, Tetsu, look up. He get kicked in his face. He was not fast enough to dodge Papyrus. After the kick, he gets sent out the ring. It was like, Papyrus over here like, I thought you'd be stronger. Apologies. Apologies. I thought you'd be stronger. Papyrus wins. These are just mid matches anyway. I mean, this ain't nobody important. But Papyrus is gonna handle everybody as if they're great, even though some of them aren't. But that's fine, because we all love. Say it with me now. Say it with me in the comments. Just type out, we all love Papyrus. Come on now, we knew that. Anyway, continuing on, we got Undyne versus Kirishima. Undyne, right? Papyrus, he sit back in his seat after his match, Tetsu's good. Out of the ring and knocked out, but he good. He made sure of that, of course, because it's Papyrus. Papyrus sitting and he was like, Sans, look, it's Undyne. Bakugo obviously want to see this too. He leaned forward a little bit. Papyrus over here like, Bakugo, how much stronger do you think Undyne got, Bakugo? Bakugo's like, Papyrus, get your hands off of me. Like, cause Papyrus over here shaking him. But this is canon Bakugo. Bakugo would have been crashed out, but obviously, he been with them for a while now. He done developed a little bit more patience. Sans, he actually opened up an eye. He trying to see what's going on. Obviously, Azrael. Obviously, Chara and Frisk, they want to see what's going on with Undyne too. She may not got her memories, but let's see how much she's grown. So, Undyne going up against Kirishima. Kirishima over here like, yeah, I don't plan on losing, Undying. Yeah, or what's her laugh? Yeah, or some. It's like a war cry or whatever she do. She ready for him. You know, she take out the spear. She was like, "Let's see if you can get past my spear." On some shit. On some shit. You know, she is undying, of course. She still is undying, of course. But yeah, match begin. Kirishima, he activate. This another tattoo Kirishima. This is another tattoo Papyrus fight, basically, right? The only difference is that Papyrus is vastly stronger and faster, but Undyne is similar towards Kirishima. It'd be the same thing pretty much, right? Kirishima loses. But I guess I can go a little bit more in detail, right? Undyne, Kirishima would have rushed for it. Undyne would have rushed for it. For any opponent, she gonna take it the most serious, right? So she rushed forward. As she running forward, spear pod things come up from the back. They launching spears up. Kirishima gotta be on hard lockdown. Kirishima, he stopped. He getting hit with the spears and stuff, blocking. Undyne, rush in, kick him back in his chest. But he good though, cause he actually sturdy. He look up, he see Undyne trying to overhead him with the spears. Dodge. Hit him with the left hook. Clocked her. She said, bet. Grabbed him. Threw him back into where the spears were. Threw her spear at him. He caught it. She ran forward. He try to hit her with it. It disappears because she can summon him and disappear him. Hits him in his face with it. It's hardened, but hit him in the face. He's still flipping though, right? She do the spear thing up while he skirting across the floor and stuff. He stopped. He dodged the one from underneath him. It wasn't gonna pierce through him or nothing. It pushed him up in the air, and then it would have made him easy to get out of the ring. But he nice. You feel me? Better than Tetsu, of course. That's all this match is showing, is that he's better than Tetsu. Yeah, he didn't fight Papyrus, but Undyne's similar in strength. They don't know that, but he's better than Tetsu. Undyne over there laughing and stuff. You got some real fight in you, punk. Kirishima stand using the spear that almost just threw him up in the air. As a little bit of leverage. Like, I didn't know you'd be this strong. All right, Red Riot never gives up. They rush at each other again. Undyne like a whole bull. I grabbed the bull by the horns. Kirishima tried. He got through out the ring. She had her spear charging. He grabbed the spear, got lift off his feet, flew out the ring. After she wins, she on her celebration and stuff. And she pointed Bakugo and Papyrus. Hit that thumb across the neck shit. You feel me? They old friends anyway. Undyne was also not expecting Sans to get this far. She's never seen him fight before. Not for real. She's seen him do some small irritating shit to piss off Bakugo, but she didn't know that he'd be fighting like that. But she's impressed. She's impressed. It's been 10 months. And he's in 1A, so she knew he had to have something. Bakugo just knew he was a sneaky ass nigga and that he wasn't ever going all out. He also knew that he wasn't going all against Shinso either, so. On to the next match. Aoyama versus Sue. If you know anything about the story or about me, Aoyama loses. I'm not going into depth with that fight. It doesn't matter. It's two side characters that it's one side character that didn't even participate in the tournament previously, and the other side character lost first round anyway. Sue wins. I'm moving on. Then we got Fritz and Mina. It's sad because these two people actually matter, or at least one of them do. Either way, Fritz get on the scenes and stuff. Ready for the boxing, ready for the battle. Mina get up there too. She excited, waving at everybody. Fritz also kind of excited, feeling determined. Ready for the fight. Sans still asleep. You know how this one gonna go as well. Everybody else watching though. Midnight hit that battle. Mina start, hitting the mobility on her quirk a little bit. She start sliding and gliding around. She was like, I'm not gonna take it easy on you, Frisk. Because they is kind of friends. They cool. They tight. Frisk standing there calm, eyes closed or whatever. You know how her eyes normally be. Awesome. I wouldn't have it no other way. She feel determined, right? She start increasing the strength of her body. Mina, she get a little bit close. She start trying to spray some acid at her. Obviously, Frisk dodging. She excellent dodges. Excellent dodges. She can still be touched because she hasn't run through this situation 70 billion times. But she is good / great at the dodges. She trying to get up close to Mina. Mina over here trying to escape. First hit her with that trip. She do some cartwheels because, Mina on athletic activities. Get back to gliding. Start still trying to throw some acid, first, dodge him. Take out the staff, throw it at her, right? She got for me to jump over it, try to hit her with some more acid. First, back up a little bit, then jump forward, over her. She like over her, grab her arm, and like underneath her jaw, as the momentum carries, throwing her over Frisk out of the ring. She ain't got no glide. She ain't got no flying quirk. She slide on the ground. It's a win. Like I said, these first matches is kind of, just to set the stage matches. You feel me? It's nobody important. Except for this one. We got Chara and Mineta. Because like I said, W.I.S.T.M.U team had enough points to get in. That includes Mineta since Mineta was there. So was Sue and Tokiyomi. It just so happens to be Chara that he's fighting. He wasn't escaping that judgment, apparently. Either way, big ass smile on Chara's face. The whole time. She been waiting for this. And she's glad she didn't have to wait long. Mineta, the fear is only so... It's only so much a man can bear. There's only so much a man can bear in his fear activities. He shaking the whole time. Finally gets up there. Chara been ready. Been so ready. We ain't gotta... I was just playing with the, she's smiling, but you like her face is still extra dark. Only thing you really seeing is the red eyes. Some of the heroes in the crowd like, oh my gosh, that's a little menacing, a little dangerous perhaps. Midnight begin the battle. Mineta obviously cowering, right? He like, oh shit, please don't hurt me. Chara walk him down. That's Miss Walk him down Chara right there. If y'all didn't know, she always gonna walk him down. No, I'm joking. But she do walk him down. She over him, no smile. Can't even see the red in the eyes no more. As Mineta looks up, and she bent down and was like, I forgive you, Mineta. And Mineta's like, it's like all his prayers was answered right then. Like, what? She really do be on that tsundere shit and I wasn't tripping? She forgive me? This is all happening in his head, obviously. And, he said, like, as he about to reach out for her hand, like, really? She grabbed him up by his collar and slammed him to the ground. Obviously, he gonna bounce up, but, she still slammed him to the ground, breaking the ground a little bit. I was like, obviously not. She really fooled some niggas, though. Some niggas was fooled. I know some niggas was fooled. Mineta bounced up. Chara on the side of him now with the side step. High kick him. High kicks, right? Into the air. You gotta stretch them ligaments. High kicked him into the air off his spine, my nigga. Then she hit the squat down. power jump up. She was ready for this one. She planned it all out. She was ready for this one. She didn't think it was going to be like this, but she was going to hit him with something. You know, she full jump up as Mineta coming down a little bit, like, maybe I'll land outside the ring and this will all be over. Grabbed him, really palm him up a little bit, then grabbed him by the back of his shirt. Fear instantaneously. He been scared this whole time, but fear instantaneously. As he gets turned around by her. Monstrous face. The most evil face. You see the darkness of the red, you know, the blackness, the darkness of the blackness. You feel me? In her eyes and her mouth. And she's like, if you ever, man, you could try to trick me into doing something like that again. You know, as he grabbed her by, as she grabbed him by the head, right? Looked like she about to slam him into the ground. Like they kind of speed down, going down to the arena again. The doctors won't have enough medical experience to put you back together again. Mineta's been screaming this whole time. The whole time going down. It felt like eternity. He didn't even know how high up they was. And as he thought his head was about to collide with the concrete, she put her feet on the ground and put his whole body outside the ring. Talking about, do you understand? The eyes, they normal again, but you can tell like she is not playing with him at all. And Almanet's like, yes, yeah, I understand. Yeah, yes, of course. She's like, good. And throws him outside the ring. So in her own way, she also spared that nigga. If you really think about it. Anyway, continuing on. Char wins that match. You know, we got Tokiyomi and Momo. I'm not going over to fight. Y'all know what happens in canon. Momo gets clapped. But I will talk about what happens after Chara's fight. Mineta isn't badly injured at all. It was hurt. He was sore a little bit, but you know, he's alright. Chara sits back down, kind of slightly irritated. Says it's like, there's our number one tsundere. Everybody else in 1A, they like, you know, they got the hand gesture on the neck, like, hey, Sans, I know you love playing, cut that shit out. I don't think she's in the mood for it. You feel me? So Charles like, ha ha, comedian. I thought you was asleep. Pick one. You feel me? Are you gonna be asleep or are you gonna be making jokes, my nigga? Pick one. Says it's like, I don't know, that all that violence woke me up a little bit. I had to make sure there wasn't nothing going down. I'm glad to see that, you know, you was still on your tsundere shit though. Char reach out and grab him by the head and it was like, you got one more time, Sans. I promise you. Obviously it's not painful at all. Just palming his head, even though it's got hair there or whatever, right? Making him look at her. Like, you got one more time, Sans. I promise you. And he was like, what? You throw me around a little bit and then toss me out the ring too? Frisk, obviously, intervene before it's even more of a problem than it already is. It's like, yes, Charles, let's go get some water real quick. You know, it's kind of my fault. I made you put that cheerleader suit on anyway. You didn't want to do it, but you know, let's go get some water. We can calm down. It was like, Sans, one of these days, Sans, I promise you, one of these days there'll be nothing stopping me, Sans. And these Sans is like, the only thing that's ever stopped you is the same thing that'll stop me whenever that day comes. Yourself. And at the end of the day, she know he right. That's the only thing that's ever stopped her. Herself. And to be fair, it'll probably stop her whenever that quote-unquote day comes as well. Like I said, y'all know who wins the battle. Tokiyomi. Momo loses. Like normal. Then we got the Bakugo Chako. Obviously, Bakugo's a little bit different. He still wins, of course. Similar way, similar plan, even though she didn't have Izuku come up with the plan with her. She, was kind of worried about it. Papyrus went to go check on her. Sans went with Papyrus. They made her feel better about the situation. Bakugo just got a little, even though he has the same amount of respect for her as an opponent, he shows more respect for her during, before, and after the match. Obviously, there were still some pro heroes out there talking about some bullying shit. I had to cut them niggas off. Like, hey, I don't know who the fuck, I don't know what pro out there saying that. Remove them. Hey, I don't know who out there a pro in saying that shit. Cut that shit off. You feel me? Niggas lame. They just give anybody a hero license in this bit. But for real though. Bakugo's, he's gunning for the first place. He gunning for first place. And, he got, prove it to either Papyrus or Undyne. He don't expect Undyne to hit number one. He do kind of think Papyrus will maybe Sans. He gonna have to see about it. As the match ends, of course, Ochako trying to get back in, start losing consciousness, of course. Or, Sans, I was saying, because of Bakugo super explosion that blows her plan out of the water, basically. He was able to hold on to it a little bit more because he's a little bit stronger than he was in canon. Been working out a little bit more. Still hurt though, of course. Ochako, she faint before she hit the ground. So Bakugo, noticing that she not threatened no more, rush in and catch her. You feel me? Trying to save a little bit of her dignity. She a great fighter. She had great strats, great strength. Real nigga. Anyway, since Bakugo gonna be the last nigga to fight again anyway, he wait with Ochako, wait for her to wake up. Obviously, Papyrus and Sans show up unexpectedly. Undyne pulls up as well, along with Frisk and Char and Azrael. They've been connecting with Undyne. Undyne was following Papyrus. Sans followed Papyrus. They was all here. Bakugo's a little bit annoyed because so many people are in this room being loud. Some of them being loud, some of them not. Sans obviously on them like, dang, you really do care. Now Bakugo got to hold back. Because now he don't want to be loud. It's a whole lot of love, whole lot of emotion. Ochako ends up waking up eventually as these niggas are playing around, arguing, talking, having fun. She enjoying the sight of the situation. They all make her feel a little bit better, saying some words of encouragement. My boy Papyrus is great at that. Sans, telling her to take it one step at a time. Frisk and Char, they gave her got her some snacks because they know Ochako a little bit, Azrael was there. Even Flowey said something nice, which is rare for Flowey, and Ochako knows it. And Bakugo, talking about he was a great opponent. She really earned that respect out there. And, as everybody was leaving, before Bakugo fully leave, because, he would be a little bit upset if he lost in the first round against, I don't know, Papyrus or some shit. Bakugo turned around and it's like, don't be too upset. You lost to the winner of the tournament, Just on some real nigga shit, because Bakugo like if he would have got onto that goddamn mic, he believes that he gonna win. Is he actually going to win? Maybe. Anyway, yeah, that's good enough. All right. Appreciate y'all for watching the first part of the tournament. I recorded the entirety of the tournament. It's just the first part. That's part of the reason why it took so long. Don't worry about it, because we're back on schedule. My schedule, whenever I decide to upload. Don't watch that, though. Don't watch that. Hope to still see y'all be in there for me. every time. Next What If coming out soon. For real this time.